In this video, I'm going to show you how to draft the very classic two-piece corset pattern. Trust me, it's very easy to draft. I showed my tips and my tricks and the straightforward way to just go about drafting this pattern. You want to find out how to do that? Keep watching. On my pattern paper, that's my bust point, my nipple point, and my under bust point. The length of this pattern paper is 22 inches. So from the center, I marked 0.5 inch. After marking 0.5 is across those points, I went ahead to connect my markings with a straight line. And from the center, the next thing I went ahead to do, not from that line, but from the center, I went ahead to mark 4 inches. Now we want to draft our cup. So after marking 4 inches, I also extended that 4-inch line upwards by 1.5 inch. Now the next thing I went ahead to do was at the under bust point, I marked 1 inch on both sides, and I also did this at the hem of the pattern paper, which is like the hem of the blouse or the blouse length. Yeah, so I connected the under bust point to the hem. Okay, so after connecting the under bust point to the hem, I used my ruler and I connected my nipple point to my under bust point. Okay, so this is what we have here. Then the next thing I went ahead to do was I extended that line by 1.5 inch, which I earlier mentioned. Now I'm just going to draw a horizontal line. So from the center, not from that line, from the center of the paper, I marked the 1/4 of my bust. Okay, I marked that point. Then the next thing I went ahead to do was at that point I went down by 1/2 inch. Okay, I went down by 1/2 inch. We want to start forming the cup curve there. Also from that point I went down by 1/2 inch. So after going down by 0.5 inch, I went ahead to draw a straight line. Okay, at that point I took 1/2 inch on both sides, okay, which is 0.5 inch. I know we are doing a lot of 0.5s, but just stay with me, guys. After that, I connected it to my nipple point, and the drawing here looks like an inverted triangle. Okay, so this is what we have here, guys. The next thing I went ahead to do was I connected my under bust point to my nipple point, okay, to form the corset cup. Then I connected the top to that 0.5 mark. Okay, then from that point I went in by 1 inch. Okay, from my bust measurement I went in by 1 inch. Remember that 0.5 mark went down by. Okay, that's what I'm just highlighting here. So I'm just highlighting the 0.5 mark we went down by. Okay, and remember I said we went in by 1 inch from my bust point. From my bust measurement I went in by 1 inch. Okay, so from my bust measurement I went in by 1 inch, which is what I'm trying to explain to you guys here. Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to that point. Okay, to that point where we went in by 1 inch, I'm going to connect it to that point. Okay, and I'm going to connect my under bust point together to form my full corset cup. Okay, so this is what we have here. We have a very beautiful cup already. You can see how sweet it looks. Okay. So I'm going to take the distance between those points, right, and add it back to my bust measurement, because you guys know that when we cut that out, it's going to make the bust measurement short. Okay, so I'm just adding it back to my bust measurement. Okay, so I've done that now. Now to mark, since I've marked 1/4 of my bust measurement, the next thing I want to go ahead to do is to mark my under bust measurement and my waist measurement. Now I just folded that part in Then I just went ahead to mark my bust, my under bust measurement, and the measurement of my waist. You want to do this from the center of the fabric, not from that line, okay? From the center of the pattern paper. I don't know why I'm saying fabric. From the center of the pattern paper, not that line, okay? Yeah, because some people make mistake to take the measurement from the line instead of the center of the pattern paper. Yeah. So, okay. So after marking out my measurements, I connected my measurements together. When I'm saying the center, I mean that place the pattern paper started from, before you go and take from like the middle, literally. Okay, so this is what we have here. The next thing I went ahead to do was I added 1 inch sewing allowance to this pattern, okay? And I did these at all the points, and I connected my markings with not really a straight line. Some are slanted, some are straight. You guys get the drill. And then you can see my broken ruler. Forget about it. This ruler, I've replaced it. It just keeps breaking. I don't know whether I want to buy a new one. I should just buy wood. Yeah. Okay, so I've added the 1 inch sewing allowance. Now from that point, I went down by 2 inches. Now we want to form the 2-piece curve, okay? At the middle, I went down by 2.5 inches. At the other side, I went down by 2 inches. So we'll have a very classic, a very beautiful curve. Don't get tired of me, guys, please. So after marking all the points, I just used my French curve and I connected all the markings together. If you do yours properly, you're going to have something like this. If you have a straight line, you are wrong. You are wrong. Okay, so after marking, this is what we have here. We have a very beautiful curve. Okay, now at the sides, I'm going to go down by 1/2 inch, which is like 0.5 inch. Okay, at the sides, on the left hand side and on the right hand side. Then I'm just going to connect it to my nipple point, to the middle. You know, the middle is where my nipple point is. Yeah, so I just did that. I'm just going to do that at the moment. English wants to be a problem, this voiceover. Why? So after connecting, this is what we have here. Now, because we went down by 0.5 inch to form the bust dart for this corset cup, so we'll have a very beautiful cup. Remember, we went down by 0.5 inch at the top, okay? So we're already short by 0.5 inch. We need to add it back so that the cup will not jump when we are done drafting, okay? So that 0.5 inch we went down by at the top, okay? We are going to add it back to the pattern, okay? So we've added it back to the pattern. I'm just drawing that straight line so that you guys will see, because I noticed I did not do that when I was, marking that point. So this is what we have here, guys. The places with blue are the places that are going to remain in the pattern. The places with red markings are the places we are going to cut out, okay? So this is one tip to help you avoid mistake when you're drafting your pattern. So try it out if you always make mistakes. Now, you know that from the picture, this corset is a little slanted in the front. It has like another third piece in the front. So at the top, I'm going to go out by 1 inch. At the bottom, to get that slant, okay, I went at the bottom, I marked 1.5 inch. At the top, I marked 1 inch, and I'm just going to connect those points together. So that's the 1 inch point, and the bottom is 1.5 inch, and I just connected my markings with a slanted line because of course it's not the same measurement, so it's going to be slanted simply because from the picture it's a little slanted. Okay, so this is what we have here, guys. You can see how beautiful this pattern is looking. I'm so in love these days. I'm just so in love with pattern drafting, and you guys will be seeing a lot of it. So this is what the front part looks like, or what it looked like when I was done cutting. This is what we have here. Yeah, the corset cup is still in 4 pieces. You don't forget to tag them so you don't make a mistake. Now let's just work on the corset cup, okay? So this is the first part, okay, of the corset cup, the top part. Now to get the first piece of the corset cup, we're going to grab an extra paper, put your water gum on it. Some people use sellotape, but it doesn't really work out well for me, so I just always use my water gum. Okay, this thing is called water gum, Abby. Then just as you can see what I'm doing, I just placed the gum on the paper and I try to merge the pieces together. Okay, And this is what we have here, guys. I'm just going to put more gum, smudge it on it, smoothing it in, and leave it to dry. Okay, we're not yet done with that piece. Then for the bottom piece as well, I'm going to repeat same thing. I got some paper, place the gum on the piece, just whichever works for you, whether you want to place the gum on the piece, whether you want to place it on the main pattern piece, anyone you want to do. You can see I'm doing both methods for you guys. And I just smudged it in, okay, smoothing it in. Then I went ahead to bring the next piece. Of course, I added more gum and I placed it on the paper, and we have a whole piece together. Okay, we have a whole piece together. You're just going to also keep this and wait for it to dry. So these are the two pieces. Okay, next I'm going to cut out that excess paper. Of course, we don't need it in the pattern. It has served its purpose. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it out so we have our full working piece. So this is what the first piece of the corset looks like, and this is what the second piece of the corset looks like. You guys already see that it is very easy to cut this corset, this two-piece corset, this very classic two-piece corset. You can see it's simple and easy. Okay, now before we go to the back pattern, we need to take the length of the corset. Okay, so you grab the length of the corset. It's time to draft the back pattern. Now to draft the back pattern, that length you took there, you're just going to transfer it to the back pattern. Okay, so which is what I did here. I transferred the length to the back pattern, and I connected my markings with a straight line. Guys, this one is a straight line, it's not slanted. Feel me? Okay, that's what we have here, guys. Now we want to get the under bust point, because you guys know that this is very crucial. So we'll get a very shapy corset, okay, both in the front and the back. So from the top there, I measured where my under bust point is, and I just transferred that measurement to the back pattern. Okay, I told you guys the video and I did tips on how to get your waist snatched in a corset. You know, I talked about marking out your under bust point at the back pattern, which is what I'm doing here. So if your corset doesn't come out right, this is something you're doing wrong. So make sure you mark the under bust point at the back pattern. So I've marked my under bust point at the back pattern. This is what we have here, guys. So I'm going to tag that under bust point, and that line there is the hemline. Okay, so now to start the back pattern, quickly, the way our lecturers will say, I marked 4 inches. Now we want to draft in our dart. Okay, I marked 4 inches. So after marking 4 inches, I connected my markings with a straight line. Now at the top, okay, I marked 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, on the left hand side and on the right hand side of the line. Okay, and at the bottom, I'm going to take 1/2 cm on both sides. Okay, 1/2 cm on both sides. So after taking 1/2 cm on both sides, I dragged my gigantic ruler and I connected my markings together. Okay, maybe at this point I'll get a metal ruler, because that white ruler keeps disappointing me. And I know this long ruler is too much for the pattern, but bear with me. Okay, so this is what we have here, guys. I've drawn the dart for the back part. Okay, so from the center, I'm going to take 1/4 of my bust measurement. I'm going to also measure the distance between that point, those 2 points, and I'll add it back to my bust measurement, because you guys know we're going to cut that part out, so we need our pattern to be correct. Okay, then at the under bust point, I'm going to mark my measurement as well, and I took the distance between those points again, and I added it to my pattern. And I did same thing at the hem. Okay, I took my waist measurement, I took the distance between those points, and I added it back to the pattern. Guys, pattern drafting is so easy. So don't think in your head it's complicated. No, it's very easy. Okay, so after that, I connected my markings together, and I also went ahead to add 1 inch sewing allowance, okay, to the pattern. And this is what we have here, guys. Easy breezy, beautiful, lovely. Now we want to create the eyelet opening. Okay, of course we want to create the opening for the lacing and all the beautiful things we are going to do at the back. So at the top, I went in by 1.5 inch. Okay, At the under bust point, I went in by 1 inch, and at the hem I went in by 1 inch. Okay, so I just connected my markings together. I just wanted to give it a slight slant, nothing so dramatic. Okay, you can make it straight, you can make it slanted, just do what works for you. You can even put your zip. Okay, so this is what we have here, guys. Okay, I wanted to make the slants to really glide in and it will not have any sharp edge. So this is what the back part looks like. You can see it looks beautiful already. The places in red are the places we are going to cut out, okay, while the ones in blue are the places we are going to keep. Okay, I've gone ahead to tag the patterns as well, to tag the parts of the pattern. So after cutting the back, this is what we have here, guys. You can see how beautiful and lovely the back part is looking. Okay, look at the front pattern and the back pattern. Guys, I told you that this classic 2-piece corset is very easy to cut and to sew. If you enjoyed this video, to draft before I say the wrong thing, if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Do come back for more videos. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.